Welcome to What's Eating Harlem. I'm Vanessa Tyler. There is a lot going on in Harlem. Let's get started. Her name is Allison Williams, and we call her name because we can't get enough. Are you sure you have to have meat with your meal? You may not want any after dining at this vegetarian restaurant. The meal is complete, and what they do with vegetables? Unbelievable. Art speaks to us. So what exactly are these pieces saying to you in Harlem? Serving up Latino soul. Food fusion at its best. New Harlem Besame, honoring the grandma who taught them how to cook. Delicioso. All of that on this edition of What's Eating Harlem. What's Eating Harlem, funded in part by Cove Lounge. Situated in the heart of Harlem, it embodies the spirit and vitality of its community, delivering a unique blend of cool sophistication and urban edge. Also made possible by Chocolat, Harlem's fine dining at its best. Everyone meets at the bar at Chocolat, 120th and 8th, 2223 Frederick Douglass Boulevard. Chocolat Restaurant Lounge. Want to know why people love Allison Williams? Just listen. If you didn't know, now you know. Allison Williams is the truth. She is serving what her fans have come to expect, her all. She never holds back, and this night was no exception. Don't wanna leave, don't wanna go. Don't wanna go, don't wanna go, no, 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 no.
I love her voice. Her voice is amazing.
Oh, she was really good. Amazing.
Amazing is the best word to describe her. She is one of those you hear people say can sing the phone book and sound, well, amazing.
Come on, let's stay together, y'all. We're going to be together. We got to stay that way. But I came up with a knowledge of the concept of triple threat.
Not only could she sing, she is also a trained dancer. Young Allison was also into gymnastics.
Because all I think I wanted to do was fly. And gymnastics represented flight.
But there was no escaping the music. Her dad was a band leader, and music was always a part of her life.
Music was always playing, and different types of music. And for the most part, the music that I gravitated to was the jazz. I want to tell you, baby, changes I've been going through. When most of my friends went down south to visit their family, I went to the Newport Jazz Festival. I was that kid running backstage around Miles Davis or Sarah Vaughan or Clark Terry or Dizzy Gillespie. Missing you, listen you, till you come back to me. That's what I'm gonna do.
On this night, Allison sang covers, songs that might have come from others, but she clearly made it her own.
Wonderful. I'm an Allison Williams fan, so I'm the wrong person to ask. Incredible. I mean, look at the crowd. I mean, everybody loves Allison.
Harlem
am a Harlemite, and I am fiercely defensive of my Harlem roots.
And where else would a Harlemite get her big break but with the late Hal Jackson's Talented Teens?
My talent was Sweet Georgia Brown from Bubble Brown Sugar, as performed by Vivian Reed. When it's this good, this love, say no. I need you so, I'm ready to go. The fire, through the living too.
Yeah, she can sing anyone's song, but there is one song uniquely her own.
There's no need to look no further. I'm waiting here for you. Just call my name and I'll come running.
I am grateful and thankful that I was given that song.
What's ironic? It initially wasn't hers. She was signed at Def Jam at the time, Russell's first female artist, and she just happened to visit a producer friend in LA who was working on the song for someone else.
Artist could have been anybody's, but when I heard it, I knew it was mine.
And when the producer heard her, he knew it too.
Just call my name and I'll come running.
Allison loves to act, and in a stage play starring the Whispers, she played the role of Phyllis Hyman, her good friend, who sadly committed suicide. Oh, did you catch her in the movie Black Nativity? And get this, she also loves doing stand-up too, something good girlfriend to comedian Kim Whitley told her not to do.
Right, she's like saying, "Oh, Lane, I love you to death, but if you come over here, I'll choke you. You know, I'll cut you."
These days, she jams.
Baby, I need you to know that
Play with that. Give it up for Shout Line, y'all.
She takes you on a journey whenever she starts to sing, no matter if it's something simple as a jazz standard, R&B, blues. She takes you on that journey whenever she starts singing. And I learned something from her.
You can find her Wednesdays and Saturdays at Arthur's Tavern in the Village, just jamming with the band.
The creative, I guess, vibe that we have between musicians, and with Allison, she allows us to be us, you know, behind our instruments, and that's great as a musician to play with an artist, a singer, who allows you to do that.
She's an absolute pleasure. She's, as everyone knows her, as a phenomenal R&B singer and soul singer, but what a lot of people don't realize is her jazz background. She has such a deep vocabulary to draw from musically, and that's what really separates her from a lot of other singers.
Say hey to my girl Vanessa from SHL. What's eating Harlem? Anybody know?
Allison definitely knows Harlem and plans to give back by starting a nonprofit, Allie's Way, to expose kids to the arts.
I want people to realize that I never forgot where I came from, and I tried to do everything I could to represent so that I would be, although just a little black girl from Harlem, when another little black girl sits in her desk, at her desk, she might look in a book and say, "Ooh, she looks like me."
This little black girl from Harlem has been all over the world, even played for kings.
When I worked for the King of Morocco, which was for several years in a row, for the first king that I came to know was King Hassan V, and then his son Mohammed VI came into power, and so I had the opportunity to work for both thrones. What a lot of sunshine into my life, filling with happiness I never knew. The beauty of it is that now that I do not have a record label, which some people would think, oh, you ain't got a record deal. No, I don't need that necessarily. I can get directly to my fan base and to anyone else who wants to be a part of that audience through the internet. You give me more joy than I ever dreamed of, and no one can take the place from you. First of all, I've just started a crowdfunding campaign on Indiegogo, and I hope people will find it and look for it. And as I said, if I had $1 for everybody who asked me, when you putting out a new record, I'd have enough money to put out a new record. The door slamming your face every day. Then you gotta open the door, then you gotta go through the window, then you gotta climb out the roof, then you gotta shimmy up the chimney. You know, but there's always another way out. And there's always another way in. I still have a God-given gift, and I want people to recognize that.
There is nothing like a bite of a burger. You wouldn't know it by the way they're tearing it up, but what Ernesto and his wife Muntisa are chowing down on isn't beef, but fermented soy.
Yes.
Better than a burger.
Right.
Better than a burger and healthier, believes Brenda Beener and her business partner, her son Aaron. The two own a restaurant you often don't see opening in Harlem. Seasoned Vegan is just vegan, but the way Brenda Beener hooks up these meals, you would never believe it.
Just preparing foods and putting my seasonings in it like I would do any other dish. Seasoned Vegan was born.
They are food magicians at Seasoned Vegan, located on 113th Street and St. Nicholas Avenue. Their tagline, the food you love veganized, and I took them up on the challenge. My dish, crawfish, broccoli, and mac and cheese.
Very good.
Like macaroni and cheese is not only is it delicious, but it's also something that we eat, you know, at family gatherings, whether it be Thanksgiving or, you know, a cookout or a family reunion. It's kind of a part of the family, you know? So for us to tell people, yeah, it's comfortable.
Comfort food.
So for us to tell people you have to turn your back on that all the way, it's difficult, I understand. So instead of, you know, telling people that they can't no longer have that experience and those flavors, what we try to do is, or what we do really, is just make vegan versions of it so that you can, you know, still participate in your, you know, cultural rituals, you know, so to speak, but at the same time, just bring it into the modern day and make it healthy for you instead of having it, you know, tear your body down.
That is why Seasoned Vegan is so important to this vegan family. Chef Brenda changed her cuisine when her husband turned vegan, but then had to figure out how to make it taste good for her kids. And yes, the mac and cheese is spot on. How do they do it?
And then I use flaxseed milk instead of using cow's milk. And we use a non-soy based margarine, which is not animal based at all. And then we have breadcrumbs on it, and you know, we just make it a really creamy, cheesy macaroni and cheese.
Oh, curious about the crawfish? Well, this family with their New Orleans ancestry knew they had to get it right. It's made with the root of the burdock plant, with the right seasonings to achieve the taste.
Oh, everybody. You have to remember no cursing.
Seasoned Vegan sees food as medicinal, fueling our bodies, spirits, minds. And if something ails you, conscious, they call him the doctor, will work it out. Here he mixes strawberry heaven with strawberries, bananas, and vanilla soy ice cream, and powerful soul with mangoes, spinach, ginger, lemons, and apples. Yum.
In our communities all across the country, we all have the same issues, which is cancer, heart disease, diabetes, I mean, you name it.
High blood pressure.
High blood pressure. And then I started to realize that maybe we would be able to give people another option. And to realize that vegan food or eating plant-based food is not a bad thing, and it's nothing scary about it. I found that a lot of people think that it's scary to eat vegetables and a fruit and plant-based diet. So after speaking to neighbors and realizing that it was it's an epidemic in our communities, I spoke with my son and spoke with other people, and we decided that it was time for us to open a vegan restaurant. And this has been the best thing I could have ever done. And especially when I see senior citizens who are set in their ways come through my doors on a constant basis, then I'm thrilled. I am thrilled to be here and glad that we are able to offer this food to our community.
For Harlem, this is different, yet nowhere is it needed more. Food for the soul, yet healing for the body.
I'm a Harlemite, so I come from Harlem. My children were born in Harlem. So I'm at home. You know, this is my roots. So for me, I'm very, very proud to be here. And I'm very proud to be able to offer this. It means so much to me because I know that I'm giving people another option. You know, like we're not trying to make, and I say this all the time, we're not trying to convince anybody to be vegans. Not at all. But we just want you to just be open and try it. And there is another option, and we are that option.
Harlem wants to get you involved. Got a story idea? Tell us. Go to our website, what'seatingharlem.com. There you can become a member and get discounts to some of the places we feature. Be sure to like us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.
This is art. You may not understand it, but wait, can you feel it?
In a place like this, you do daydreaming, which is very important for the soul.
Tatiana Pajes wants this to be a place for Harlem to daydream in her contemporary art gallery on the corner of 138th Street and Frederick Douglass.
Now, people here, they say, you know, crazy, nobody's going to understand this art.
Look deeper, because there is meaning to every piece Tatiana selects for her Harlem gallery. So, okay, back to the rocks. This piece by artist Mara G. Hasseltine features hand-selected rocks with hand-blown glass. The message? The rocks have life, and what you see represents the spirit of the rocks. Now, can you see the beauty and get the message?
Nobody doesn't like something pretty or beautiful. So my point with contemporary art here is that I'm going to have art that is, although has a social statement, is beautiful. And it has a power of making you happy and changing your life because, you know, art usually changes the way you see your future.
Looking at life differently is why Tatiana is also featuring the work of artist Anthony Locane. His work is digital weaving.
It's a combination of digital photography, painting on the computer, and then eventually actually weaving on a loom.
And the result? After he slices the images and weaves them, is something you really have to study to decide.
Well, that's what I really want. I want people to actually stop and stare and try to experience what, you know, they're looking at, and it changes.
The pieces start with photographs Anthony prints on either paper, aluminum, even copper, each giving a different look, different feel. He says his creativity really started to take off living here in Harlem.
I've lived in a lot of different areas of New York, and I've never been happier than I have been up here.
After I opened the gallery, I found all my neighbors who are, you know, amazing.
Tatiana was born in Chile but raised in the Dominican Republic. Growing up, she lived all over South America. Besides running the art gallery and owning a marketing firm, she somehow finds the time to work on another of her passions, jewelry making. See what she's using? Looks familiar? That is the plastic six-pack can holder. She calls it the worst thing for the environment. But there is a message here. Instead of throwing so much of what we use away, let's be creative while we're reusing and recycling. Check out her bracelet, those plastic pop tops from milk containers.
It's very different just to tell you to recycle or take care of this or that, but through something beautiful, you'll remember.
She has even taken this art of recycled jewelry making to women behind bars as a business model. Giving back is important to her, and she wants her neighbors here to use her space. The doors are open. Harlem welcomed her. She welcomes Harlem.
And that's part of our mission, to teach people, educate them, make them not feel afraid of art and galleries.
Has a lot to celebrate tonight. First, it's his birthday.
Happy birthday, Jose and Ayoka. Happy birthday to you and you.
And second, his restaurant, New Harlem Besame, is packed and people are partying just like he envisioned it would be.
This party is epic, as it should always be. It's about family, friends, community, and everybody coming together to have a good time and celebrate.
And celebrate they did.
That the personal touch is all of what we're about here at New Harlem Besame, and our family is all about, and being engaged with people and making them feel welcome.
What could be more welcoming than a kiss? Which is what Besame means in Spanish, kiss.
The thought process when we put together the name was that we and our family and our culture, being from Caribbean roots and Latino roots as well, are very much connected to people. We feel very friendly with people, even though we may not have met them before. So this is a perfect venue to engage people that you've never met before on a daily basis. And even furthermore, we thought that the name would be very powerful when people have never heard of us and immediately say, New Harlem Besame, I gotta go check that out.
And when you check it out, you will find a menu that is a cultural melting pot. Take the ribs, not just barbecue, but guava, the flavor of the Caribbean.
So when people hear that in a succession of words, they say, guava marinated ribs, what are you talking about? Right? But the taste is exquisite and it's extremely unique. And it's done in a way that we feel only we could do by having that level of understanding in our culture of Latino fused with Caribbean. But we have also the garlic marinated chicken and the garlic marinated shrimp as well. So those things fuse the Latino culture integrated with the soul as well as the Caribbean as well.
Nothing says Latino like black beans. This is their black bean soup. And check out their take on another Caribbean favorite, oxtails and rice. Delightful. Now, it's time to quench the thirst. With what else? Rum mojitos, every flavor of the rainbow.
We have every single flavor here, passion, strawberry, guava, and all of the other ones, coconut and the original. So the sugar cane also conveys that level of authenticity that is done in Cuba, which is where this was originated. And we want to convey that and share that with the customer.
Authenticity, family, culture. But the soul of New Harlem Besame comes by way of his grandmother, whose picture graces the dining room.
Clara Francis. In 1952, she began the catering business actually in Costa Rica, which is where we're from. So the history is that Costa Ricans, the blacks that are in Costa Rica, migrated by way of Jamaica during the Panama Canal construction, and they just never returned.
Also on the walls, another history of slavery. These giant handmade wood panels tell a story from working the land, then the new world of freedom. Another piece of history is the restaurant itself, located on 126th and 7th Avenue, making Adam Clayton Powell Boulevard a part of the ever-expanding restaurant rows, just like on Malcolm X and Frederick Douglass. This is not the first time Harlem has partied in this exact location. Back in the day, a famous fighter had his popular bar in this same spot. Sugar Ray Robinson's bar was here. New Harlem Besame pays homage with a large photo of Sugar Ray right behind his bar.
So the New Harlem is not acknowledging anything aside from reactivating and re-energizing the old vibes and the old feeling of what Sugar Ray Robinson felt at that time during the Harlem Renaissance.
The feeling of good times happening today.